ladies and gentlemen, I am Beet Farmin Mitch, and so I'm a farmer up in the Red River Valley of North Dakota, and it is springtime up here, and you know, it's a river valley, so what happens in river valleys? Well, they flood. So I'm curious as to how a couple of our fields look, just kind of want to see the water moving through them, making sure there isn't any major problems and whatnot, and of course staying out of areas that aren't safe. So we're gonna go check out some of the flooding, so you better buckle up and get a life jacket. Welcome to the Red River Valley of North Dakota, a land flowing with milk and honey. You're watching Beet Farmin Mitch. Couple of mallards in the field over there. Spring is near. I've also been seeing lots of the good old classic flying V of Canadian geese flying north. That's been pretty fun to see. So the floodwaters are ravaging across the valley right now. And we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna go start actually where the floodwaters already went through. We're gonna go take a look at some of that, and we're gonna kind of follow the floodwaters, see where they're coming up to, and we're just gonna kind of see if it's damming up anywhere, what that looks like, and work our way to the more intense flooding. And I forgot to mention I've got the drone with, so we're gonna go for a flight and check out some of the floodwaters as per perspective of a Canadian goose or a mallard. So this is where the water was rushing over the road. This whole field was full of water blowing over the road. You can see there's fresh gravel on here that the county put on there. And you can see that a lot of the gravel got washed onto the edge of the ditch there. Over there is the edge of the valley, and we're gonna kind of work our way a little bit that way, and then we're gonna go from the edge of the valley in towards the center. And so when you get up to the edge of the valley, it's pretty abrupt. So the Red River Valley spans from Canada and Manitoba all the way down to like the northern part of South Dakota. It's probably about 30 to 50 miles wide going up and down, but in the middle of it and inside of it, it's all flat like this. And so the water comes into the valley, comes rolling down through the hills there, and then flies through the valley. So that's part of it, and all that snow in the ditches, that didn't help. Okay, here's our next stop. Like I was saying about the edge of the valley, you can kind of see it over there, but you can see the water's already came through here, and once you get water flowing through, usually the snow blows out pretty quick. But again, I said it came so fast, and so there's not a whole lot you can do about that. So you can see the water's going through the culvert there, but there was snow in the ditch, it came so fast, and you can see we have wheat stubble on the edge here. So there's a reason that we left this in wheat stubble. So you can see there, the water came so much that it didn't all shoot through the culvert and it shot around the edge. And we were hoping the wheat stubble would hold it here, but apparently it didn't. So you can see this is a washout here. And of course, not ideal. This is a type of water erosion. On one hand, with water erosion, you can scoop the soil out of the ditch and kind of put it back to where it was. So it's not the end of the world in terms of that. There's gonna be a little bit of soil loss with that, but there's not much you can do about it sometimes. So what we'll probably have to do is pack some clay loads down in there and cover it with some topsoil, and then try to get some grass growing there or something. Maybe a bigger culvert would help. I'm not sure exactly what would be best there. I was really thinking that wheat stubble would have held well, but guess not. And the rest of this headland looks pretty good. This didn't wash out anywhere else, just in that one spot there. Pit stop. So that field's a little lighter soil, has a little more tilt to it. So that's probably why that cut a little deeper in that one. So we're probably gonna get some clay, pack that down in there, put the old topsoil that's in the ditch on top of that, and try to get some grass growing there and build that up a little bit so that doesn't happen again. Doc, can you see the geese way over there? They're heading north. I did see a flock going south today. I don't know how that turned out for them. So if you look way over there, there's kind of a little hill you can see. So that is a big waterway. That is supposed to carry a lot of water through it, but like I said, full of snow. And so what happened? Well, it started blowing over the sides of the bank, and here we have another problem that the floodwaters can cause. So this is wheat straw here. This has all been floating in because of this. The water flooded this field. It raised up all of the straw because the bank overflowed, and now there's all this straw here. So what's gonna happen? The water's gonna recede, and this is all gonna sink down, and it's gonna be a big old pile of straw, and it's not gonna be very good. Because you can't run that through any sort of farm implement. It's just not gonna work. It's gonna be a mess. And this is what you're left with when the floodwaters disappear. Well, I'm starting to catch up to some of the major flooding, and so we'll send the drone up. So you can see all this chaff spinning around here, and this is a culvert whirlpool, and these are very dangerous. You do not want to be anywhere near these. I am a mile away from this as I'm flying my drone, but you do not want to be anywhere near these whirlpools because they have so much force. They will suck you under, and you can see the water bubbling out the other side here. That is a very dangerous thing, and of course, we got another dangerous thing up ahead. Road washouts. But up here, this is not something that you would ever want to try drive through. This is more than likely the gravel is washed out and there is not a road left under here. So if you tried to drive through it, you would probably get swept away by the water. And these are frigid cold waters with not many people nearby to help. And so don't ever go down a road closed that has a road closed sign up, and never try drive through or by one of these type of washouts, because this could be a very fatal thing, and it's not very good. And the thing about this water, in a couple of days this will subside and pass through, but in the meantime it's not an ideal situation. I've been following the water downstream, and so this is actually a big flood diversion ditch. So I'm very fortunate that the town I live in did a very large flood diversion project. So basically there's banks around the whole town, so the water diverts around the town. And as you can see, this is a massive ditch. It's obviously full of water, but when this puppy's dry, man, it's like, what do you need that much ditch for? Well, this is why. And it's just a small river that flows through the town I live in. It's just a branch of the Red River. And the Red River, that's the main vein there. So you add up all these little tributaries flowing into there, that adds up to be a lot of water. People by Oslo, you know what I'm talking about. Look at that, bald eagle. And as far as the flooding goes, you get fields full of water. It happens every year. I'm not surprised by it. It's just another thing we got to deal with. Most of our fields are dry. Most of our fields are going to be fit for planting. The ones that aren't, hopefully they dry up, and by the time we plant our ones that are fit, we can get crops into our other ones. So it appears the water quite hasn't all gotten to the Red River yet, but it's working its way across the countryside, so I'm sure this will be going up. I'm pleasantly surprised to see the water in the Red River is still fairly low. I mean, it's full, it's up to the banks, and it's probably gonna be coming out soon. But when you got all those bodies of water outside of the river continuing to work their way towards the river, I assume it's going to increase. And I've heard stories this year of bad flooding in towns. There's one in particular that was flooded super bad. People's houses were getting damaged. You know, it's one thing when a farmer's field floods, but it's a whole nother thing when your house floods, and that's just not a good situation. Obviously, you should build your house in a wise spot, but sometimes it happens. And whatever the case may be for you, maybe your house has flooded out before, or maybe you're going through a hard time and your life is, so to speak, flooding on you. But I know I've definitely been through floods personally in my life, through different challenges and hardships. And so be sure to build your house on the rock. Hear the words of the Lord and put them into practice. Everyone who hears his words and puts them into practice will be like a person who builds their house on the rock. Doesn't mean it's not gonna flood. That's gonna happen. Life's gonna be hard. But I know for me that has been what's gotten me through everything. And so everybody goes through hard times in life, so I just want to make that known that I also have gone through hard times, and he's what helps me through these floods. So with that, thanks for joining me on this journey today. This is Beet Farmin Mitch, and don't forget to stay safe out there with all of these floods, and of course, be sure to keep it sweet.